The Unrecorded Interview, history documentary series.
They say power is the ultimate vanity. Is it true, Caesar, that the great conqueror of Gaul cannot conquer his own mirror?
Baldness is a deformity I did not ask for, yet one the Senate permitted me to shroud. My time is far too valuable to bicker over follicles.
Today we face the man Michael Parenti calls the savior of the poor. But before we begin, a warning. Stay with us, because later we will reveal the last encrypted message Caesar left in his will. A betrayal that even Brutus didn't see coming. Before you were a god, you were insolvent, you owed fortunes. How does a man in ruin end up as the master of the world?
In Rome, debt is an investment in loyalty. My creditors could not afford for me to fail. If I fell, they lost. My debt was my shield.
They called you the Ill-Girt boy for your loose belt. Was it rebellious fashion or a declaration of war against the establishment?
Sulla saw the danger. He knew that beneath that loose belt lay many Mariuses. Style is propaganda. If you wish to break their laws, start by breaking their etiquette.
When pirates kidnapped you, you demanded they double your ransom. Arrogance or a personal branding move?
A man must know his worth. If I was sold cheaply, my legend would have died before it began. I had them all removed later, just as I promised while we laughed.
Michael Parenti argues the Senate hated you for being a reformer who threatened their economic privileges.
The Roman oligarchy was a parasite. I gave back the land and the grain to the people. My power did not stem from the Senate's marble, but from the sweat of the streets.
You bought your legions with spoils. Was it genuine loyalty or a mere mercantile transaction?
I shared the ice and mud with them. I called them comrades, Commilitones. The steel of my legions was the only engine the Senate could not stop.
At Alesia, you built walls to encase and walls to protect yourself. Was it military genius or fear of being surrounded?
It was architecture applied to conflict. At Alesia, I did not merely defeat the Gauls, I defeated space and time. War is logistics and absolute will.
Mary Beard says you left scars even in Greenland due to the pollution from your mines. Do you call extreme exploitation civilization?
Rome breathes olive oil and silver. To feed 1 million citizens, I needed the fields of Spain. Empire is not charity, it is hierarchy.
Quintus, a 4-year-old child, died in your mines with a pick in his hand. Was that your Roman order?
Even the slaves in my household had more of a future than a free barbarian in the woods. Rome offers citizenship to those who submit.
1 million Gauls removed. How do you justify that human cost for your own glory?
I call it extreme pacification. I replaced tribal chaos with Roman law. A barbarian under my command had more dignity than a free and starving one.
Your roads only serve to drain the wealth of the conquered toward your capital.
My roads created the first globalization. I pulled peoples from their isolation. Those roads still sustain your modern cities.
Geography wasn't enough. You had to dominate the calendar.
The Roman calendar was political chaos. I brought mathematicians from Alexandria and imposed the logic of the stars. Every time you say July, you utter my name.
It was forbidden to lead troops beyond the Rubicon. By crossing that river, you removed the Republic. Was it justice or blind ambition?
The Republic was already a corpse. The Senate had killed it with corruption. Crossing the river was an act of honesty. Rome needed a master.
Rome called her a seductress, but you saw something your generals ignored.
By the way, when you interviewed Cleopatra, She herself said she was no siren, but a geometer of power, and indeed, she was the intellectual engine of our alliance.
Your famous Clemency, pardoning your enemies, was it real kindness or a subtle way to humiliate them?
It is the ultimate weapon. A removed enemy is a martyr. A pardoned enemy is a perpetual debtor. My clemencia disarmed them more than my steel.
You established the corn dole, empathy or a massive bribe to keep the plebeians docile.
Feeding the people is the sovereign's duty. The Republic preferred to see them starve while they hoarded silver. I gave them bread and dignity.
You forced half the world to be Roman, erasing their local identities.
I elevated them. I gave them a universal mould where merit mattered more than blood. Citizenship was the greatest gift I gave the vanquished.
But your triumphs were excessive. Did you need to humiliate kings to feel grand?
The people need the spectacle of victory. I wasn't celebrating my ego, I was celebrating Rome's supremacy. The triumph is the coin with which loyalty is paid.
We promised to speak of the will. You left the empire to Octavian, but you also left something to the people that Brutus did not expect.
My will was my final legion. I handed my name to Octavian and 75 sesterces to every Roman citizen. By making me die, Brutus thought he was freeing Rome, but my will turned every citizen into my avenger. That was the betrayal his liberty could not foresee.
What did you actually see in Brutus's eyes before your removal from power?
I didn't see liberty. I saw the panic of an obsolete elite. They removed me because I was the future, and they were the past. Their betrayal carved my name into the marble of eternity.
Kaiser, Tsar, your name is the title of tyrants. Is that your victory?
My victory is that you, in your modern world, continue to live under my laws and my roads. I am not a man. I am the world's infrastructure.
Julius Caesar, a man who gave us order in exchange for our liberty. A reminder that saviors usually build the most beautiful cage.
The Unrecorded Interview. History documentary series.